everybody, guys, gals, and everything in between. Welcome to the You Be Aight podcast. Once again, that is You Be Aight podcast presented by AML Media. Love you, Mom. Come join us for some fun. You'll find out we finally got some merch. T-shirts are feeling real nice on our website. You'll be able to get those. Got some stickers. Got a couple options for you. Also, the Patreon.com.
Love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom. Patreon.com to get our special features. We're going to have some cool stuff coming up on there. And then also you get our smoke breaks, which happen every episode on there. I am Gene Labordi. My co-host, currently doing his laundry on company time, is my brother Stephen Labordi. And then doing all the hard work and making everything presentable for you guys is my wife, Rachel, our executor, doing, what do they call them, the ones and the twos. Rachel, why don't you tell them where they can find us?
Okay. We are on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Patreon. All of our social media handles are on the screen, so take a screenshot if you're watching the video, or you can go to our website to find all of our links. Our website is aml.news.blog. That will be updating soon, but as of right now, it's still aml.news.blog.
Yeah, there's a couple changes we're trying to upgrade for you guys, so stick with us, stay with us. Comment if you have any questions, anything like that. We're pretty easy to get a hold of, and Rachel always gets back to you. Peaches, 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 peaches. Come join us. Have you, speaking of the new Mario, did you ever watch the old one that was real life?
No, but that would probably be
It was like
pretty
from the
entertaining.
80s. And, dude, you can't, like, find it anywhere.
Because it's so stereotypical and overtly...
No, it's really creepy, like, because they are just plumbers, and they go down the sewer, and, like, the costume prosthetics or whatever, it's an evil... I forget, maybe... They're trying to turn people into
Those mushroom
lizard things. It's really like, it's a little it's kind of like
So what, it's a banned movie?
it's not banned, but it's hard to find. Rachel, see if you can find, I guess we just call that live action Mario movie from the 80s or early 90s.
93.
Maybe. But this.
Yeah, that looks fucking cool.
We might just have to unmute it. But just like the weird artwork of it, and it's creepy. It's got one of those feels of like what was that?
Like dinosaurs, that's what it kind of looks like.
What the fuck was that movie? The Labyrinth. You know, it's like a kids movie, but it's
awesome.
creepy. It's kind of got like that. Like, I think it was like a PG movie, but yeah, it's...
Yeah, that's John Leguizamo.
Yeah. But, like, when I've tried finding it before, and it's not easy.
I love going back and watching movies now from, like, the 80s and 90s. I personally think it's so much more impressive when there are prosthetics and effects that aren't CGI, that are cool. Like, you know, in 90s movies, there's a lot of explosions and car wrecks and shit.
And they had, dude,
They had to really crash and blow shit
all
up.
day to do 3 seconds
Yeah,
of
it's so much cooler and more fun to watch for me than just, like, awesome CGI.
That's why the new, like, they're actually coming out with a new one, but, like, the newest Mad Max, the one with the guy from Bane.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Because there's, maybe there's some CGI, but
little.
very little. And, like, the creepy bosses or what you know, like, there's like the three brothers that are like, the one is the Bullet King, the one's like controls the wood, and they're all creepy and boiled up, and they got, like, that is impressive.
That's what changed the whole thing is just the economics of making movies, dude. And like, I know I'm not the only person who like will prop up a movie if I see they went and spent the money to really make, you know, some awesome action scenes
I mean,
without just going full CGI.
The simple fact that we have a green screen behind us now, and Rachel can edit it and put whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not obviously not even close to the realm. But the fact that this technology, a dude donated this to the shop, and
I don't. It's to call it technology is kind of silly. I mean, it's technology on the software end, but that is not technology.
Well,
This
yeah,
is
you're
a
right.
green sheet.
It's more than a green sheet. It's also got things holding it up.
That's more ingenuity than technology.
I remember when in elementary, you know how you never knew why a lot of times, but they would just having like a what do you call it? Everyone would come to the auditorium. What do you call that? Not a concert, an assembly. And like it was sometimes it would just be a dude who like plays with puppets or like you never know. But I remember the one guy came and showed off green screen technology, and I was like, that's. I was in 3rd grade or whatever.
Yeah, that's a prime age to be amazed by stuff.
That was
That's a good
like
age.
doing it live. Like he brought a kid up, and I was so jealous. I never got picked for the things, but like a kid got brought up.
It's so funny.
And was like, look, you're in Hawaii, and like on the screen, we're all like, oh,
Yeah,
what?
We all know what green screen technology is, but
Okay,
the effect it would have on a 3rd grader,
Yeah.
definitely. But it's funny. I need to point out that you're the one kid, maybe 2 of you, who want to be on stage. I guess in 3rd grade, maybe.
Oh well, I'm pretty sure. Who wants to volunteer? I think most kids' hands go up. I think at that age,
I'm the weirdo.
You were the one in the minority of not wanting, not putting their hand up.
Not in an assembly. I mean, I was a choir kid though, so I guess I'm like talking shit.
I was the one. Maybe we talked about this before, but I was the one kid. I remember to do choir. It started in 3rd grade, I think, and every Friday, like the last hour of school, would go practice choir or whatever it was, and I did it like 1 year, and then the next 2 years I'd be like, I'm not doing that, and they're like, well, if you don't do that, you have to do a reading thing, and I was like, that's fine. And like I just called the bluff on the teachers because then I just went and sat with a couple
Should've done
teachers.
The bell choir.
I did do the bells.
The bells was cool.
And the only reason I wanted to do the bells, I wanted to do the biggest bell.
Well, yeah. If you're gonna do bells, you want to do the big bell.
I wanted, just like, and I remember like 2 kids being mad that I got to get the big bell.
Rachel, did you do the bells? Do you know what we're talking about?
The hand bells.
I did them with church choir.
God, how much different would our lives be if we grew up in a church? Did you go to a black church?
No.
I was hoping.
But back real quick, I forgot to mention, as far as movie props or whatever you want to call it, they give credit to Alien, the one Alien, like the famous one.
Alien.
Is it just the original one where she's in the machine? I know that's one of those things that was like groundbreaking. Her in that robot and like the way they made the alien's mouth and shit come out.
The mouth come out of the mouth with just slime all over it. But like
that was groundbreaking.
And it's also, you don't realize till you're older how difficult it is to pull that off and not be silly. I can't tell you how many movies I watch or shows or series where I have to appreciate the artistry because I can't take myself serious enough to be dramatic. Every scene, like I've been watching this action show with this Navy ship that's like the last ship that was untouched by a pandemic, whatever. But like every scene where like there's a wounded guy and he's like stumbling on the deck, like I wouldn't be able to be the director and not be like, let's try a scene where you overreact and flop on the deck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Same thing with songwriting. I could never write serious songs because you have to have a mindset that like
to be able to sit down and write like last night was the best night. It'll
even
never
that
be.
Is not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I just got a little red in the face saying that.
Like it's really impressive to me.
Like one of the first days when I was in drama class in high school, because I just wanted to do the comedy portions of it, but like the first few days, I think she tries to weed kids out, and I almost got weeded out because I was like, I don't want to do plays and all that stuff. And I remember the one thing she would go bang, and you had to fake it death, and I was like, caught the bullet.
Well, you're a cool guy then.
After a day or two, she talks and she was like, And then I was like, oh, you just got to give in. All of us are being corny and dorky, and
You got to break down the wall.
yeah, and like in a lot of those, whatever you want to call them, little skits or whatever practice things is to like make yourself comfortable with each other and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I never did drama club even a day. None of that.
It wasn't club, it was class. Okay.
Oh yeah, they did have a class.
Yeah, I originally took it to be like, because they had laughing stock. I didn't realize you didn't have to be in the class to do that, but then I was like, dude, we just get to fuck around on stage. I started calling it bullshitting 101. And I was like, because I just go up here and it'll be like, all right, we're playing this game now. And by year 2, like, I kind of was just like, I don't want to do that right now. And she'd be like, oh, that's fine.
That's because you were so cool in high school.
I wasn't so cool. She did let me, like, she would let me sleep on the prop couch.
Because you were so cool.
Not.
Is that the point you're trying to make?
No. Miss G was awesome. Is actually the teacher was really cool, but I sometimes would be so tired, and she saw it, and she'd be like, "Go ahead and go back there." And
shout out Miss G.
Shout out Miss G. She was, yeah, she was cool. That and then my cooking teacher was awesome. I had like an old Jewish lady as a cooking teacher.
Yeah, home ec was like,
because that. Well,
it's nice to know how to sew.
Well, this was purely just cooking in high school. In middle school, you do home ec where like half the year it's cooking, and then
you make a weird pillow.
I did really good at. I'm actually a pretty good sewer.
It's not hard.
No, but like I remember, like at first like you just use a piece of paper and like go around the lines, and like I was like pretty good because I liked it. I was like, this is you. Also, as a little fat kid, so I was like, I'm gonna need to put a button back on something.
I'm gonna rip my pants.
And I did make a sweet. I think it was year 2 or whatever it was, but I got to make a sweet drawstring. Like gym bag kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, and you get to pick your fabric and stuff.
Yeah, but it's funny when like your typical like mom these days. I wonder if they know how to sew. It's such an easy thing once you learn that. You're like, how can there be people who don't know how to do this?
Well, and at the basic level, yeah, but like to be able to hem.
Well, no, that's different.
Well, that's sewing.
But I'm saying to repair like men clothing.
Oh, if everyone in the world should know how to put a button back on something. Yeah, it's the simple. The hardest part is threading the needle.
Yeah, I'm not talking about being like a real tailor. I don't know how to do
No, but I'm just saying like it is right now. I could do it, but I'd have to really refresh. But to put the not wire. I can't fucking think today. My brain's on dumb mode.
Thread?
To put the thread in the machine.
Oh, yeah.
That is difficult.
You got to use the bobbin, like.
Yeah, and it's a really the sewing machine is actually a pretty impressive.
It's very impressive. It's revolutionary. But
yeah.
I couldn't do that now without reading the instructions.
I would. Yeah, I might have to do a YouTube video.
Are
again.
they all the same? I imagine they're all kind of different. Too.
I think they're all. There's a pretty standardizedness to it. But I remember like half the year was learning just how to thread it, and you had to do a test where you had to like be able to do it in 5 minutes or something.
Really, I don't remember that. All I know is like to get a bunch of middle school kids to use at least one of them's gonna hurt themselves.
I'm pretty sure that there was some kids that like never got to do like you're gonna pass the class, but the teacher would just be like, "Why don't you go run and get the TV for
me?" Or like
me?
Stand over and basically do it for him.
Yeah,
because that's kind of class.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, you get to pick the materials, but let me just help you. And she just sews it for him in 3 seconds, and he goes, guys, I made a bag.
You just finish it real quick. Yeah,
those are, and actually that teacher, and that was middle school. I think I was because Maple Point our middle school was originally a high school, so it was pretty big and had good amenities. I remember, that teacher. Probably just turn this down. Probably just to make a couple extra bucks if you do like an after-school activity. She started a Magic the Gathering club.
That's what's up.
And you got free every Wednesday, and she'd order a couple pizzas. I went, never played Magic. Just
out and eat some pizza. That's because you were so cool.
I was so cool, dude. I was going to Magic the Gathering to get the free pizza and not even play the card game.
It's smart too.
Well, and also I remember that room was sweet, dude, because it had couches in there, and it was real big, and she had a TV in there. So like, I'm pretty sure I'd go eat some pizza, sit on the couch, and take the late bus with some of my buddies that like Jeremiah Lodis. I remember being in it. So like I just kind of he'd play, I'd hang out in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think like our middle school is way nicer than our high school.
At that for your when they renovated, the high school's pretty sick now.
It was a fucking dump.
That thing was
Old and hot.
Yeah,
miserable for a 350 pounder.
Oh man, I remember the one fucking science class. A frog died because it got it got
the
too
ones
hot.
above the cafeteria.
No, the ones down the hall where the one crappy gym was and the office was.
It was probably looked so much different when you're there.
No, when I was in the transition period, so I got the old high school too.
Okay.
But then it'd be weird, like you'd show up one week and they'd be like a sign, like your room is now an R15 because it's just they'd cut that part of the building off and stuff.
So did you have some air conditioned classes?
Yes,
Yeah.
and then for like, I think my whole 11th grade year, half my classes were in modulars. That would get nice and cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it would suck to go from that, then to go to the science hall and be like, I'm dying now.
Yeah.
I got to learn about. That's why I think I sucked at science for a whole year because I was like, I can't breathe good. Can I get a hall pass to go back to the modulars?
We used to have to do, like stretching and sprinting and before school started. So we had to be there at like 6 a.m.
For football.
football.
Okay, yeah.
Like that was such a nightmare. Like borderline panic attack for me because there was no. You would get sweaty as shit.
Yeah, morning club. And they called it breakfast club just to
be
throw
dicks.
it in. Yeah.
And like that, I would have to bring an extra pair of clothes.
And they
Sweat through both. They don't even give you enough time between.
Oh yeah. If you're I was always lucky to have a cool homeroom teacher that knew like I'm dragging ass because I was up before you were today, man. Come on.
I wasn't like the kind of kid who'd be like, "Yo, teach."
Well, I don't think
I wasn't cool.
Homeroom teachers that like you played football, so the teacher knew you played football, so you never got a detention for being late.
No, but you still
homeroom.
had to be there and check in. You don't understand how bad I was sweating.
Yeah. Well, no,
and then having a panic attack on top of it.
I never. Yeah.
And I would go outside to try to cough because it was still crisp in the morning.
And the coaches wouldn't let you.
And they'd bitch. You're gonna catch a cold.
Because a breakfast club happened.
In like early spring or something?
In a lot of cold morning time, So you could, but the coach was like, you're going to catch a cold. And I swear it was just them being assholes.
Probably.
They want, like, yeah, keep sweating, you fat shit.
Yeah, sweat it out. Lose a couple pounds. Which was, I wonder what it's like. I wonder if football coaches can still be like that.
Probably not.
Things have changed so much.
That's why I think Schmidt probably stopped coaching. He ain't that old.
Just pinching your fat.
Oh, man. He knew exactly when the cheerleaders were around.
Just humiliating.
Yeah.
And that was like, if you can't handle that, you can't play football.
And he knew where the choke points were of like one, which I looking back, like I go, this guy helped a lot of kids out because I was terrified. I wouldn't smoke blunts in the morning with my friends because I'm like, Schmidt's going to be at the entrance of the school, making sure most of his players are there and whatnot. And then he'd be sometimes show up at the cafeteria, making sure no one's fatting out too much, but then also would humiliate you in front of.
Yeah. I never, ever considered getting stoned before school, ever.
Yeah. Well, you hung around some dumb kids, but yeah. And they would be.
I smoked weed.
Yeah, but they would smoke. And that was funny, too. I remember telling them, like, why are you smoking blunts? That's the stinkiest stuff. Smoke bowls. You're still going to get high. But it's like, I got to smoke enough. And I'm like, four of you are jammed, packed in a car, and you're going to, then you just smell like cologne weed. They'd be like, well, spray Febreze.
Yeah. Your teachers know anyway. You can't cover that shit up. But it just, like.
That's what I always kind of said. I was like, because a lot of them I don't think ever did get in trouble. And it's probably because the teachers, because then you're just sitting in your class like, as opposed to like being the ADHD kid bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, they're probably happy. Just shut up.
He's not going to retain any of this information, but he's not.
Let's be honest, he was never going to retain much anyway.
Yeah.
But some of your friends were like, if he's sitting there quietly, that's about the best we're going to do.
I just was always craving sleep, and I still do. So, like, I knew the class. Like, math, I never went for the super advanced classes, which I could have because that was my strong suit. So I do a step down because, actually, math I wouldn't sleep in. But, like, social studies, the one was current events, and you just had it every day. You just have to read an article and write a paragraph on it. I'd bust that out in 10 minutes, sleep on my desk for the next 40.
Yeah, it's funny. I look back at some of those exercises, like reading an article and writing a paragraph on it. I would almost enjoy doing those things now.
The one rule
But
was
at that age,
I remember that must have been the only class he taught, and he was a retired vet, real cool, chill guy, and all he taught was current events. But the one rule was obviously no cartoons, none of the funnies, and no sports.
okay, well, yeah, and see, when you're that age, you don't even realize what the point of it is. There are some really shitty teachers out there that I guess have lost the passion because they face so much resistance. But like to try to get a group of 16 or 17-year-olds to understand, like, it's important in life to understand what's happening in the world. This is a way to get you to do that and to become engaged in your society because it affects you. And like after like the 4th year in a row of really wanting your kids to understand and getting one weirdo who's like into it, you're like, you know what?
Well, I do remember sometime because the pattern eventually he had a break. He never would assign it, but every day everyone did the same thing. They looked for the shortest article.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So everyone in the class wrote about the same article, for the bare minimum 4 sentences, and then he would kind of be like, I think he made like you have to do a one outside of the country a week, one local type of thing like that. But yeah, I mean, that was such a bullshit class. That was one of the classes that the coaches kind of were like, hey, if you guys are struggling a little bit.
Which is not a great thing for coaches to be encouraging their football players to prioritize football over school.
And because, in high school, you don't have that much freedom. You get to pick, 2 electives, 3 electives?
It depends where you're at.
Yeah, I guess. Like, for us, I think you got to pick 3 electives or whatever. So, but you still had to do a math, a science, a social studies, or whatever. But then I think that was my senior year. For my science, I picked environmental science because we just got to go walk out in the woods. And I would just tell my teacher,
cool, yeah.
I'd be like, my stomach hurts, I have to go to the bathroom. So then I just sleep in the class.
Story of your life, right?
Right before, that was nice too because I was in the new building. The air conditioning was blasting in there right before summer.
Remember, when I was in high school, I had a coach that was suspended for the whole season for changing a student's transcripts. So when
the kid deserved to go D1.
No, he didn't.
Well, not scholastically, but physically.
That's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
And it was so weird, man, when the head coach, when he was suspended, he got like 3 or 4 of us seniors during the week to go out to dinner. He took like 4 of us at a time out to dinner. It was so fucking awkward, man. And me and Schmidt were all right.
Yeah.
But it just seemed so sad. It's like, this guy's got a family and kids.
I'm not that sad because I know his wife did pretty well for herself.
What do you mean? Are they divorced or something?
No, I mean, I'm just like, it wasn't like he was just losing his passion for 1 year. I'm pretty sure his wife owns a Jaguar dealership.
No, it had nothing. I'm not talking about money.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying like, because he was still allowed around the team. He just couldn't do the games.
Was he still like a gym teacher?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you could still see the guys. He just couldn't coach.
Yeah.
And it was just so, like, when you have that coach-player dynamic, and remember, this is the old school where coaches were fucking hard asses, and then suddenly he's taking you to Fridays. It was a really strange. I wish I could. I wish we had one of the guys who went out to dinner with him to explain how fucking it was just bizarre. It was bizarro world.
On that, I have a story just like that, but even a little bit weirder. But talking about like old school, this was the highest level of Pennsylvania football we played at the time was PI Quad A, and I remember every once in a while, 1 or 2 times a year, when they were doing the renovations, when you were going to school, bull in the ring wasn't illegal yet, I don't think.
What's bull in the ring?
Where you stand in a big circle.
On your back.
Yeah.
Get up.
Well, that, or he would throw someone a ball, the person would go in the ball, and he called a number, and that person would just come and tackle them.
We didn't do that. We did the Oklahoma, which was like,
But I remember like everyone smiled, like, "Hey, we're taking a jog," and we just went behind this gigantic dirt pile and did like 3 drills that probably shouldn't have been done.
really?
Yeah, like settling some beefs.
Okay.
Kind of like a person who wasn't a running back would be the running back, and no blockers. It would just be 1-on-1. Just hit each other as hard as you can and get this out of the way.
Which is like, that shouldn't be an illegal drill. It's just tackle. You got to learn how to tackle.
Yeah, true, but it was the people he would pick. I would go, we knew that when that was happening, we were like, yo, who's going to get called? 'Cause sometimes you'd go and like, I don't even know if I got called that often for it because I didn't have no beef with nobody.
Yeah.
But back to like going to dinner with a coach. In college lacrosse, my first year, which I almost feel bad, but I don't. He was a good recruiter but knew nothing about the sport. He got me to go there and a bunch of good players. We got him fired.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the school board and said, this guy does not know anything about lacrosse. He should have stayed as a recruiter there.
That's not like a school who has a designated recruiter.
Yeah, but this
They
guy
barely had a coach.
Yeah, but regardless,
Do you have so little regret over that?
yeah, I do. And not because this guy had a master's in like some science or
No,
something.
you didn't ruin his money. It was just like,
Well, here's the thing. He didn't know that that's why. And so
no shit.
he called like half the team and took us out to dinner and was like, "Guys, I'm so sorry they're doing this to you." And like we're sitting there going like, "Dude, we did this to you." And sat there and was just like, "I don't know what's going to happen, but I want keep your guys' heads down. You got this going for you." And in that moment, I remember sitting there going like, "Ah, man." But it was nonsense what he was having us do.
I don't like the whole situation.
No,
I hate it.
I don't look back on it
Because he brought you guys there and he cared enough to take. Now I hate it. Now I'm mad at you guys. I mean, we don't need to get into nuances of why, but just on its face right there.
Look,
It's-
dude,
it's
as a Philadelphia sports fan, you should understand if it's not best for the team, it needs to get rid of it. It was a cancer.
Like I said, I'm just saying on its face. You know.
Yeah, well, it happened, and it might have not been. It was for the best. Except the recruiting. That was the only thing. That's the one thing I do feel bad because he could get kids to go there, but he also did a little bit of lying to us to get us there.
Yeah, I know. I know a little. I know a good bit about why he wasn't a good coach.
Yeah, I mean I never got to play on that field that was supposed to be there that year.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's part of recruiting, unfortunately, is like, the yellow brick road that might not be painted yet.
Change up the subject a little bit. I had something I kind of saw it. I was like, that's a good question, and I'm having a hard time with it. What sport, now it doesn't have to be going pro, what sport right now currently, and we'll give you half a year to train at it, what sport do you think you could make it at the highest level?
Me?
Yeah, so like it doesn't have to, it could be
None.
semi-pro baseball, whatever it is, but like,
None.
no, I'm saying
Anybody?
no,
Like a
no,
good
no,
athlete?
no. Listen, I'm not saying going pro. I'm saying like if you picked golf, you're like I think maybe I could play on the amateur open tour or something. So like you don't have to go pro at it.
Yeah, which sport could you get the furthest at?
That's a better way of asking it.
It's hard because I mean I go for me lacrosse, and I think we said this before. I think I could probably make a AAA box lacrosse team playing goalie.
Now?
Like I said, give me 6 months. For that position, I just have to be able to sweat a lot. You just have to stay hydrated because in that gear, you just sweat so much. I mean, remember, those goalies don't run really that much.
Okay. That's a good question.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, and I say sports, but they call them like, would you just pick a video game and try and go pro
Fuck no.
esports?
No. Because you have to. I could commit myself to something fun like a sport, playing a game would become work really fast. Way too fast. I would be like, nah, I'm not even interested in trying this anymore. I would probably say.
And you
here's
could go,
the thing: football is like
impossible. Yeah,
because there's only pro.
well, I mean, there was that indoor league, the Erie whatever, but those are like
It was semi-pro.
Yeah, that was like semi-pro.
A lot of those were like Division One.
Yeah, like they were just felons. A lot of them were like
A lot of them were just guys who didn't get drafted that were Division One. Like there was good players there.
Yeah, so I figured
Football,
all contact sports would kind of be
baseball.
Yeah,
because I still think I have the hand-eye coordination. I could definitely still field the ball, and if they're not throwing in the 90s, I'm gonna have a 0 batting average. But if it's like 70s, I could probably
even the 70s.
No, I know, but you're saying I could have 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I couldn't go pro in any sport.
No, that's why I'm saying like. So you think? So I guess the question: what do you think is your best sport then? Because I'll tell you what's getting pretty
Probably baseball.
pretty popular. They're starting to televise. It's pickleball.
Yeah, I've never played pickleball except for like high school. Badminton, I was really good at badminton.
I love badminton.
Yeah,
That was a fun game.
My favorite sport, like if you just said to me, if I could play in like a neighborhood league type deal, right now, it would be basketball. I love playing basketball. But obviously, it depends on the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I realize my limitations, but basketball is a lot of fun to play. It's not a contact sport. I mean, if I could say let's put on the pads and practice, I would love to play tight end. I'm not big enough, I guess, to play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, my only hope for a contact sport would be I'd drop 50 pounds and just play nose tackle, just be a 1-2 gapper, and even then, I don't even think I can make a D3 team right now.
I guess the question should be if you could get a group of guys that were in your ability bracket at this age, within like a 5 age gap or whatever, what do you think you could be best at? It would probably be baseball or basketball now. Football's just unrealistic.
Or I would just do a shit ton of Adderall and get really good at chess. Just study the patterns and shit.
That's not a sport.
If it's on ESPN, it's a sport. Actually,
Rachel,
you know what?
Look that up. Is chess technically a sport?
Nah. Or
Am I allowed to say that now? People are pretty sensitive.
You know what though? Nah, I'm a good swimmer, but there's no sport.
What's the verdict?
Here are 10 ways that chess is a sport.
Okay, and
that's yeah.
Physically demanding.
What?
They do. It's the mental stress.
It said physical.
I'm saying the mental takes away at your physicality. Like,
okay, but if there's a top 10 reasons it is a sport, that means
well, that was
it's not a sport.
number 10, so that's the least.
So you're saying it is a sport?
I'd say so.
Okay.
I'd say anything that is highly competitive. I mean, they have a world ranking system.
So, okay, whatever. This is a debate that'll go nowhere.
Yeah, but I don't even think I could.
That's like these highly competitive Rubik's Cubers. They're all autistic.
Cups.
It's recognized as a sport. The International Olympic Committee has recognized chess as a sport.
Wow.
And I just say because it has like a world ranking system.
No, I get that part of it. I'm not trying to trash chess.
Chessers.
Chess is badass.
What's the name of a chess? Do you just call them chess players? There should be a cool name for chess. Chessers. Get them.
Yeah. No, I want to make that clear.
He doesn't like chess because he doesn't like anything one. You don't like anything one-on-one.
You know, it's funny that you say that. It's right, and I don't think that I'm like anti-competition, but I like team sports.
Of course, especially when it comes to sports. But like, I don't know. Like, would you and Barry play against each other in Madden?
Yeah,
but it has never ended well.
That's a long time ago too.
Yeah, but like even when
it never ended well.
Yeah, and even like when you guys got a little bit older, like early FIFA days, you guys would just play on the same team.
That was really my doing.
That's what I mean.
I forced everybody.
And
to
I
play
wonder,
the way
is it because I was 6 years younger that it was never fun because there was zero competition?
Maybe. That's really interesting. Maybe we'll have a guest on, like a psychologist, and he could tell us about that.
Because me and Rachel, Queen's Gambit was the reason why, but like we like to play chess here once in a while, and we play 1v1 games.
You know, it's fun. I will say this. I don't like to play one-on-one stuff with you.
We talked. It's you think I give you faces or something?
Nah,
I still think it's the older brother thing. If I win, you're like pissed. When I lose,
no, that's not it.
What is it?
It's that you get very competitive, and it irks me. Like when we played that fucking trivia game with Ruffner,
Jack in the Box, the cell phone one.
I don't remember, but it was some trivia game. I think it was a team game. I know that much.
Okay.
And like you get really competitive, and you were like salty, and I don't. It just I don't like it.
See, the thing is, I don't think I get that salty when I lose. Sometimes it is me just trying to be funny.
It's because I know you so well.
But see, that's the thing. You have said that. We talked about this before. When we would play video games when we were younger, if we did play one-on-one, say I scored a goal on you on FIFA, you always would say, "Don't fucking look at me like that." And the reason I'm looking
using video game examples from a long time.
The reason I'm looking over, I was like, he's gonna punch me in the arm hard as fuck right now, because you always thought, you're like, "Don't look at me like that." And I'm
know. And I remember specifically how much
a UFC, like when not even that long ago, when I came home and we played UFC and I beat you 2 times in a row.
That's a long time ago, but I know
that was like 3 years ago.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't. You were like mid-20s.
No way, dude.
With Jim?
No, that's a long time ago. I'm talking about like seriously 3 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Because you
you even said fighting games bring out a special
fighting. Yeah, but with that, because you were playing it, and I was like, yeah, let's like play each other. And that's the first time I picked up UFC in a while. They didn't even bust your ass, but I won 2 times in a row, and I'll give you that. The UFC, that one is a.
You know, it's fun. I think
that would piss me. I pissed me off because I was like, Jim, I can take you in real life.
That to the kids out there, the boys, never say that because it comes off so embarrassing.
Yes, it
I
does.
remember playing this kid Matt and the late great my late friend Anthony, and like. We were like, 28 or whatever, and we decided to get Xbox to play Madden, and I was just busting his ass. He, after like the 3rd time running it back, he just lost his shit, and he was like, "This is bullshit. You never even played a down of football in your life." Like he was going off, and I was like, I used to be a lot bigger, bro. I know football, and it's like the fact that that's what you're coming at me with, like that's even worse. If I'd never played football and I'm busting your ass, but yeah, never say that because it's really a stupid argument.
The only thing I will say is I could have beaten up Jim at that point, so
Definitely.
I was totally right in the thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, video game anger is different. But like it's funny, like you don't even like Scrabble, and you don't like
Scrabble's is
you don't like it because you're like.
It's a broken game.
See, but it's not. People love Scrabble. You just hate it because you're like, I know I'm better with words and spelling than you, but I'm like, that's not what the point of Scrabble
you're right,
is. You gotta play. You gotta play the game.
You're totally right. I'm willing to admit you're right about that, but
or when we played Stratego,
that game's dumb.
That game is awesome, dude. Everyone I've showed that game, they love it, and you just mad. You're like,
you know what? I will admit, because I'm a guy who's willing to admit I'm highly faulted. Growing up 6 years older than you and always beating you at everything, it probably somewhere deep, like, I don't want you to beat me at anything.
Well, it's funny too because it's even one of those things. Like when I would play Madden with most people, there's only like I haven't played for a while, but let's say college era or NCAA especially, I would be like, I'll be the worst team, and you can pick the best team. To try and even it out, to do the David versus Goliath. Because the only thing you ever wanted to do one-on-one would be David, knee football, where I just run at you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The dynamic of being that much older than you probably created this thing where it's like, I always wanted to give you like an edge to make it even. And then at a certain age, everything becomes even. But I will say, thanks to me, you probably could whoop a lot of people's asses in most video games.
Yeah. I'm quick on picking things up.
At least football games.
Yeah, well, I'm just quick on picking things up because I can learn the you can call the mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
Quicker.
I'll just say this though, like, quite frankly, I haven't played a 1v1 video game since like
Probably last time we played UFC like 3-4 years ago.
yeah, and I immediately regretted it.
Because you don't even like playing like Call of Duty online, which is team versus team.
No, it's because I suck.
Yeah, you don't like first-person shooters on a controller,
And yeah,
which I get because it's.
bro, I watched.
There's someone like me that never stopped playing because I can pick it up and you give me a day, I can be middle of the road and sometimes do really good. And I've
and
played
then you go up that rank and you're like, this is fucking.
I've been playing, yeah, but it's just the actual physical mechanics of it. I've been doing that for now 20 years.
Yeah,
I've been playing those first-person
It's muscle memory. But bro, this is kind of new to me because I haven't been on Twitter very long. I see these clips of these Asian girls playing Call of Duty, and just it's fucking ridiculous how good they are at this game. And it's like, yeah, I'll never get even close.
What about with the you used to play Counter-Strike Source? What about with the a mouse and keyboard?
I could do better, but I actually
Because now you can cross. That's the annoying thing.
yeah,
You can cross-platform. Which the only thing I will like about it is it made sniping viable again.
Yeah.
Not that great because there's not enough big enough. Unless you're playing the fucking I forget what they call where you helicopter in and the map starts getting smaller and smaller.
What the fuck is that called?
Battle
Royale.
Battle Royale, yeah, or whatever those are.
But I like when it comes to shooting games, like I like the big like war scenario kind of games. Like I like a Battlefield more than.
I think there's a new Battlefield out.
Yeah,
Battlefield 40.
It's
2042.
It's another EA shit show franchise that just kind of when you have to make a new one every 2 years minimum, you're gonna get
the
some
thing
stinkers.
I like Battlefield for was it was World War II era.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They can only do that every 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So now it's like 2042.
Because there's only been a few.
It's too much for
There's only been a few futuristic. The one Call of Duty, I forget which one it is, that was futuristic.
The one that's Black Ops.
I forget. Their names are all so similar.
Yeah.
But I think also there's reason. That's why it's landscaping. So me and Ruffner.
You were smoking a lot of weed then.
Yeah, and we had a squad. We can always fill up a squad
That's
of people.
fun. Like even when we played Battlefield 1, which was World War
Yeah,
One
we were
together.
getting a couple.
But we would have like someone else played with us, and we would like hop in tanks and roll.
Yeah, that's getting a squad is always the obvious.
But especially when you're not very good, you need to have people around you.
And that game is hard. That was fun though, dude. When we were like, "Yo, we need 2 engineers, we need a medic," and I'm like, "I'm driving."
Even the machine guns are slow because it's like World War One machine.
And they're just inaccurate. You have to be on top of them.
They did a good job. It was the last one because I always play the new one just to check it out.
Check her out.
But once it gets past like the Vietnam, that one was really good. I think Battlefield 2 or something.
1942.
No, that's World War 2. They did a Vietnam era one. It was really good.
I never played that one.
Yeah, it's really good. But once
on console or PC?
it's all of them. You know how everything is.
What I'm just saying, for you, did you play it on console?
Console. But I like
because Battlefield 1942 was computer.
Yeah, there was.
That's when I think we played. Yeah,
that was a great game. But what I was gonna say before we take break, we're at that time range, is these games that try to kind of allude to what's really being developed, weaponry out there with like all this weird shit and calling in airstrikes, which is all realistic. Like that shit, it's just too much for me. And then the people that are like on there all day, every day, are just like decimating everybody. And because like in Call of Duty, there's no cover. You're not hiding. There's no
you
like.
You have to move.
You have to move. You have to. Even camping's highly frowned upon.
Oh, hot, yeah.
Which is like,
and it's hard to because these map people just cycle through and they learn the pattern of when the spawning happens.
Yeah.
So that is when you have to like say spring break or whatever. I know high school kids aren't at school. I wouldn't play any online video game at that point
because they're just on there.
They're all on and they're all good and that all they put their attention to is that. But like if I wanted to play Call of Duty, I'd hop on, on
you
one.
You could do well, though. I've watched you just pick up a Call of Duty and at least compete.
Mm-hmm. But, like, I haven't played one in couple months now, on a Monday afternoon, on my day off, kind of, you hop on there because then it is like randos and stuff. It's that you'll get every once in a while hop in and like, oh, that kid stayed home sick today.
Yeah.
You know, he's 80-1 and everyone else is 20 and, you know, whatever.
Check this out real quick. Just last bit of video game. I just got Cyberpunk 2077 for like $20 on sale, which was like this huge hype game that everybody wanted to play. And these days, it's very dangerous to buy a game when it first comes out because they're not even finished. Anyway,
especially a game that big.
Yeah, that ambitious, very ambitious game. And they're the guys that made The Witcher 3, which I've been telling you gotta try if you're anyway. In this game, when you're creating your character, you have to pick your genitals and the size of your genitals and your pubic hair. What is fucking wrong? What? I haven't played enough of the game to know if
Did you put a hog on you?
No, I went small.
Good. Stick to your roots.
I'm not gonna you know me. Although I don't go as far as to name my character Eugene.
Okay, that was for Harry Potter.
That shit is weird, bro.
I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but in the game,
A fucking magician named Eugene Labordi. I think you put a last
first of all, wizard, not magician. And I am a magician in real life, okay? I know some tricks.
See, we are rare, another video game point. We are the only rare people who understand the nuanced difference between a wizard and a magician.
Or just Harry Potter fans, too.
Okay. No, they don't.
Harry Potter fans don't.
Harry Potter
would never
fan
call
has
them
ever
a magician.
said a magician.
Okay.
But
we
know what a bard is.
Yeah, when you say
if
magician,
you know what a bard is, comment.
You're thinking like Las Vegas magician. I'm thinking of like someone who summons an elemental pet.
Oh, yes, you're right. I know that in a video game, I would know if there was a magician
and a wizard,
I would know the difference.
You would know what to expect if it was done right. Okay, let's take a smoke break.
Check out our bonus segment, Smoke Break, only on Patreon.
So little kids just ruined our smoke break video.
Yeah, check it out because it check out the smoke break on Patreon.
We love fun, but not when it's fucking with our content.
Yeah, especially these kids. They just have fun in a weird way. And I literally heard the parent go, well, they're all hyped up on that candy. But, you know, let the little kids have fun, whatever.
They're not that little, that's the thing.
Yeah, and they, like I've said before.
They act like little kids, but they're not that little.
But what we were just kind of talking about is we brought up microdosing and how some parents have said it's really helped them be better parents. But you said being a parent for 2 years, basically,
was naturally it's a more rewarding life.
Like you don't need.
No, I never once was I like, man, I should be doing caring. Like when your friend says like microdosing helped me be a better parent, it makes me think that before he started microdosing, he was always like, God, this sucks.
Yeah, I guess.
And it ain't like that, you know what I mean?
But that's what I was saying.
Not everybody's a nurturer in that way, though, I guess. Some people are selfish as fuck.
Well, yeah. Let him. I'm going to go get a gallon of milk and see in 15 years.
Can't even get away with that anymore. There was a time where you could have two families, and they didn't have to be more than 10 minutes away from each other.
I know a story of someone having two families for quite a long time.
He had travel though. He had
money,
but he traveled for work, right?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah,
but also the money was the big factor.
Okay.
Well, just because he could afford, you know,
he supported.
There wasn't one crappy family. I don't believe. But anyway, what I was getting at is that like the happiness is kind of contagious because I don't have a kid. But, like, I'll be at the grocery store, and if I see a little kid, like, kind of fall and laugh or, like, do something goofy and laugh, eyes go, like, he's having fun.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to be a real grump to see a little kid being happy and be like, fuck.
Well, me and Rachel get that a little bit, but we're in a little special situation with, I like that the kids are out and about playing, but they just scream, yell.
No, those kids they're on the spectrum a little bit. They are like teenagers, right? Young teenagers, like 13, right?
Yeah, preteens, I think.
And they play like 5 and 6 year olds do.
Well, just
they make a lot of noise.
When I see them throwing the football, I'm like, yeah, nice. That's what we did.
Even that they do weird.
Yeah, but it's a lot of times it is just two of them. So like it just turns into pegging, and I get that a game just turns into
pegging.
Let me finish a sentence.
Those kids are weird.
Turns into just throwing the ball at not to each other, just throwing the ball at each other.
Yeah.
Which I even get that because like in elementary school, we couldn't play football anymore, and then they were like, all right, flag football, and they even got us like the belts, and then that still turned into tackle football, and then the only game. Like you play kickball and stuff, but then soccer became the big game. So there's a lot, at that age, a lot of kids play soccer just for their parents to have the kid involved in something. And I was like, well, I suck at soccer. Rugby! And then I just would pick up the ball and be like, someone's going to try and tackle me. There's probably kids that have a story that still hate me. Like they were competitive soccer and they were having a good game going.
I would have hated you.
You wouldn't have been playing soccer.
Well,
you would have been like, yeah, rugby.
Well, I'm saying, like, that just makes me think, like, when you're playing, like, basketball, like, with some guys that you don't really know, and one of them gets pissed off and, like, just kicks the ball or something obnoxious, and you're like, dude, you're a douche.
But that's a little different because I'm still wanting to play a game with everyone inclusive.
No, I hear you.
But I was a kickball kid.
That playground was amazing for kickball.
It really was like an arena of... It seriously was kind of like Boston's baseball field. Like it kind of had a big green giant wall. Like they call that the big monster, the big giant?
In Fenway, you mean?
Fenway, yeah.
Yeah, the green monster.
So it's like hard to hit a home run over that side.
It's short, but it's really tall, yeah.
Yeah, that's how that kind of was. Like there was the building for the kickball, and so like...
Well, what, you guys didn't play like where that fence? You could kick it over the fence?
No, it was like facing it. So if you kicked it right, there was the building, but left went like all the way down.
I know we played a different spot than you did.
But ours was perfect because it had that. Because like I remember the one kid he kicked the ball onto the roof, which ended up sucking. But they had tons of balls. I probably like every 2 days the janitor had to go on the roof and throw balls off of.
Yeah.
But like I was like, fuck that. I'm going to kick the ball as far as I can because then someone have to chase it all the way down.
Were you playing in grass or on blacktop?
On blacktop. But I remember, I love kickball. Mm-hmm.
Shout out Herbert Hoover.
Herbert Hoover. Red Hawks.
Were they Red Hawks?
Yeah.
I didn't even know elementary schools had a mascot.
You know what? That's crazy you say that. Me and Rachel just had that conversation. So, in the Herbert Hoover Red Hawks, Maple Point Leaves, or maybe they were the Maple Leaves, and then the Chamonix Redskins, and then I went to college and played for the LaRoche Red Hawks. All came full circle. But Rachel...
Well, what does the Leaves have to do with anything?
Herbert Hoover Red Hawks, LaRoche Red Hawks.
Oh, okay.
I just meant I came full circle. But I always was...
I
always had red as my color for things.
Except for middle school.
But there still was red in there.
Was there?
Mm-hmm. It was mostly blue, but it had a red stripe.
I'm not going to look it up now, but I stand to contest that there was a mascot for the elementary school.
You want to know why? I could prove it in a second because I am on Herbert Hoover's Facebook
Why
page.
they don't even have teams?
I know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the reasoning behind it, but I specifically know we're the Herbert Hoover Red Hawks.
Okay.
Because I asked Rachel that, and she goes, I don't think we had it. And I was like, that's crazy. Of course you had it. But her school was different because they just had one big-ass middle school. Because in middle school, you have mascots because we would play, what are the other, Sandberg, whatever they are.
No, it was always just the name of the school. When I played, it was just Sandberg.
Well,
you know what? It might have been the Chieftains.
Actually, it is because I have one of their helmets. We did kind of like because two of my buddies that played 7th and 8th grade football ended up moving to Sandberg, and we made our own trophy. So when we played each other,
it was like
I'll take you either steal a helmet from me or I steal a helmet for you.
Okay.
So I had, and it is a
You guys are so cool, dude.
We had, we had cell phones. That was really I had a cell phone in 7th, so like I still was hanging out with Andy who moved.
Yeah,
so, like, we were able to kind of have a rivalry, but still like we were like hanging out because it was 2 miles away from me.
Did you have any Pequessing friends? Did they have a mascot?
I know all of them did, but I couldn't tell you what theirs were.
Because we had no interconnectivity between the middle
Because they all
schools.
had different colors, so why not have a mascot? You know what I mean?
It's hard for me to imagine that I played 3 years at Maple Point and never referred to the name of the team. We were just Maple Point.
Yeah, we went by Maple Point, but I mean, like I said, if there's colors, if there's different colors, why wouldn't you do something?
Well, my entire district was the same colors and the same mascot.
In high school?
Like, if you go on the Bethel Park website, like
that
it's
makes
Bethel
sense.
Park Blackhawks.
I mean, that makes sense. But like, did your district have multiple middle schools or just one?
No, we had one middle school. We had separate elementary schools and then like a giant middle school.
So the Bethel Park School District had one middle school.
Yeah, well, technically two, but one was 5 and 6, one was 7 and 8.
Okay, yeah, but it was.
But age-wise, yeah.
Yeah, we had 3 middle schools.
No, we had more than that actually.
Well,
and then one closed down.
Yeah, in the Chamonix middle schools.
Yeah, the one over by the hospital. I think we actually had 5. But regardless, yeah, I mean,
nobody's interested in the
but
nuances of.
Not that they're not interested, but I'm interested to see were we just kind of a little special, like.
If this was a court case right now, I would insist my lawyer present the opposite of what you're presenting. I don't think we had mascots definitely in elementary school. But
well, I can tell you, at least when I was there, maybe your old ass didn't.
You don't have any teams at all. There's no team, unless maybe the travel.
No, you're right.
band.
There is no teams, but I do. And actually, I might have a T-shirt that's Herbert Hoover Red Hawks somewhere.
That's pretty good. I like the Red Hawks though. I like Red Hawks. The Leafs, no.
I think they were the Maple Leafs. Yeah, that's not a strong one, but I think they were.
I think that is totally. You're just.
I can't. It's Rachel. You Google Maple Point Middle School mascot or whatever the word is for it. I'm telling you.
Because there was no leaf on the uniforms or anything.
Yeah, on the helmet there was. Or no, the helmet was just MP. But like I said, you're right. I'm pretty sure it was the Sandburg Chieftains or whatever because they had a.
If anything, I think we were the Redskins.
Our high school was that.
The Maple Leafs. The Maple Point Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
You sound more convinced that we were the Hoover Red Hawks than that Leafs thing.
No, it was a Leaf. It might have been Maple Leaf, but I mean Maple Point Maple Leafs.
They would be cool helmets though. You could do cool helmet with a Maple Leaf.
Yeah, but like all of the middle schools had the high school colors. It just like because Redskins, we did have a little blue pinstripe in there. Mm-hmm. Like our third color was blue. Maple Point's colors were mainly red.
No, that was. It doesn't matter because
I'm not seeing anything.
And we were 6 years apart because I know for sure what's the other middle school?
I'm having
not bequesting, but
I forget. I'm having a hard time.
Our uniforms in middle school at Maple Point were definitely dark blue.
That's what I meant to say. Blue. I meant to say blue.
Yeah.
But regardless, we'll figure this out off.
Shout out to Chamonix School District. Everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, but having little kids is a rewarding experience. It is. So to need mushrooms to like spending time with your kids is not a good sign. But
he just said it enhanced it. That's all
But if you are.
Now, once again, microdosing.
And if you're actually depressed, then using microdosing to just become not depressed, you're going to have a more positive experience with everything in your life, not just being a parent. But I just know, like, for me...
Maybe I guess maybe the point is you can just always be a little bit better, a little bit happier with something. So maybe that's his point.
Yeah, and I can
because he didn't say good parent, he said better parent.
And I've never microdosed, but I can see how that could be beneficial because it definitely changes your perception, even at a small dose.
Go into something different here. I I made shepherd's pie.
It was good.
Did it come out good?
Yeah.
I mean, you can do so many different things, and it's so simple, and it's all about the ratios. But I had a pound of ground beef, and it's just too much for me, so made 2 things, gave you 1.
I'll tell you what, maybe because I had not eaten, because that's the kind of food that you can really put a lot in your stomach. And when I ate a whole bowl of that, and I fucking like half of that container you gave me, I ate in one sitting, and I felt like I was sweating and like, oh shit.
Yeah.
For
That's
like
a heavy meal.
It's heavy.
Well, that's
all
that-
those mashed potatoes.
Well, that's that casserole thing. They say, like, if you want to be on a like,
Don't eat casserole if you have weight
yeah,
issues.
that one study that like Harvard or something did, like, you eat so much more casserole than you would a soup or something.
I highly doubt Harvard needed to do the science.
We keep questioning me. I don't just make things up. Why do you think I make this up?
It's
We
a
talked
funny
about
observation. I'm not judging you. I'm just. This is a
But no,
comedy
it's
podcast.
there's a big study about soup. Eating soup
Yeah.
makes
And
you more
I don't know if it's
full.
Harvard. This is
I'm just pointing out it was funny, dude. Like I'm
know.
imagining these highbrows at Harvard being like, we need to break down a casserole.
But if you think about it, and now once again,
Casseroles were a big deal.
I
back in the day.
throw Harvard out there of just as a
Ivy League.
I don't even know if it's Ivy League. Just like it's a strong thing. You know what I mean? It could be the fucking British Columbia casserole department if that you know. But I just go. I know it was something that held some weight. So
Like a credible source.
yes, I have 4 words in my brain, and so when I think like, how do I prove a point? I think Harvard.
Except if you're trying to credibly prove a point and you're throwing out random
Well, when
sources.
I go in the Joe Rogan experience, I'll do a
Are
little
you
more
saying
research.
I'm not allowed to point funny
No,
things
that's
out?
why it's funny. It's just
I like to build mental
right.
images for the people.
it
I'm
probably wasn't
sending
funny.
my child to Harvard to break down casserole calorie.
Although, if you
levels?
think about it,
There's probably a
Obesity-
nutrition. There's probably a nutrition department.
that's what I'm saying. Obesity is a big thing.
Right.
So, like, they get a lot of money, and there probably is a question. You know, so what'd you grow up eating? Oh, my mom made casserole 2-3 times a week, and someone goes, "There's a connection there," because they do say. This is why I learned this study from, just trying to lose weight or whatever, is that you should eat soup for lunch.
Oh, really?
They say soup is the best thing to eat for lunch.
Because I would think, again, you can eat a lot of soup. I fucking love soup.
I think something with like how you eat it and like it makes you feel more full and keeps you full longer.
Now
Soup?
I'm not
Okay.
it might not be loaded baked potato soup.
Yeah, that's
we might be talking about some brothy vegetable soups here
I
and
have
stuff.
a real problem. Like, I laugh at myself while I'm doing it. Like, anything that's hot and, like, close to liquidy, I always put tons of fucking crushed up crackers in it.
Do you have
Bro,
yogurt, cheese, crackers?
I mean, it's ridiculous.
yeah, I know.
Like, I
Which is funny too, because maybe that's how you got fat. You're not fat anymore, but to me, I'll maybe dunk a cracker in there when it's cooling off to get a nice little soggy cracker to chew on. But especially a brothy soup, I like to just sip on that broth.
dude, half the time I do it, I start eating it, and I'm like, I ruined this.
I kind of ruined
It was better how it was.
Well, then also if it's brothy, it's already pretty salty.
Yeah.
So if you're cracking saltines in there,
And a lot of times,
your mouth's gonna be hurting by the end of that.
if it's even plausible to add sour cream to it, I'm adding a scoop of sour cream, and then that's why I really limit myself to like one big meal a day, because I add so many calories to most of the stuff I eat.
Yeah, you're an adder honor, and I feel like I used to be more, but I think the older I'm getting, I'm liking more simplistic.
Well, that's one point I was going to make about the shepherd's pie. It's very simple, but sometimes the best dishes are just,
The one
classics. And I think a lot of people listening to this will be like, shepherd's pie blows, bro.
How can you hate mashed potatoes? I added the cheese, but that's just from
You didn't
our
overdo it, though.
I was
I would
trying
have
to be
overdone it.
Yeah, and you can do any type of vegetable, but the one secret ingredient there, did you taste a little something that it was in the ground beef? that was a little.
Scaring the shit out of me.
No, it was something I didn't expect that was in there,
Yeah,
but
I know,
it makes
that's
sense.
a perfect setup for like fucking some pubic hairs or something.
I was just itching my belly there. Don't worry about that one. Nah, but I was surprised. Did you taste it? It wasn't just ground
well,
beef.
hold on. Let me try to guess.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me try to guess. I don't remember what it tasted like.
Like if you were gonna season it up.
So it was a seasoning.
Yeah. Yes, that's a better way to put it. And actually,
Was it green?
no.
Okay.
I think it's pretty. I
Now
wouldn't be surprised.
now that we've made it, I go, oh, obviously.
This is fun. We should do more quiz segments.
And I'll keep giving you hints to keep the listeners. Something I always keep in my refrigerator.
In your refrigerator.
Yeah. So it's not an actual seasoning per se.
Is it a bouillon?
No.
That's a good guess, though, right?
You're getting closer.
And technically, there was like broth in there too.
Oh yeah, there's broth when you cook the
Boil it,
vegetables and stuff down.
I don't know. What was it?
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce.
Is this different than Worcestershire?
No, yeah, it's however people say it. I just always,
Probably
say it differently every time.
That's one I couldn't
goofy.
even try to spell for you.
But it was weird because when I saw I was like, that's different. But I'm gonna try it. I followed a recipe.
Anything meaty, you could add a little dash of that too.
That's one of my big. When I marinate something, I put that in there. But dude, my house smelled like that smell for like 3 days.
There's worse smells.
No, it wasn't bad. But like I'd walk in, I'd be like, God, it smells like a Texas Roadhouse in here.
Yeah. Rachel, what did you eat? Just mashed potatoes?
I made myself one, but I replaced the meat with chopped up mushrooms and a little bit of Beyond Meat.
I wish I'd liked mushrooms because I think it's one of those foods that you can.
That's one I'm
really enjoy.
I'm really glad I don't
And
go
it's
with the
different.
And I don't go with the crazy ones. And now there's all these companies coming out with coffees based on them. Like there's a lot of benefits to it. But really, one of my favorite pizzas have become pepper and mushrooms.
Get away from me with that.
Yeah,
I'm jealous. I wish I liked
because that texture adds
so different.
it adds a really good, like a soft meat texture on there.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm jealous of people who have the hobby of there's a scientific word for it, but mushrooming.
See, we've talked about this before. I could go to 70 hours of classes, read all the books. I will never trust myself to be like, that's an edible mushroom.
Foraging is a more general term. There's a specific term for mushroom.
Oh, yeah. It's like myco something.
Yeah. But
mushroomologist.
There is a really niche market for you can farm mushrooms now. And if you have like special mushrooms, not like fucking the ones that are only in the ground, truffles, not like that, but like just like a mushroom boutique that you can't get in the grocery store. Like, that would be a really cool business. And you can sell them to pharmacological research companies and all kinds of stuff. You can really save the world.
There's people out there, not to talk about Joe Rogan again, but there's a guy on there, and he's the one I told you, and I think you might know him. You showed me. He was the guy in, like, Stanford. He's like, I, like, kind of founded magic mushrooms. The guy, him and his brother on college campus.
You're talking about Dennis McKenna. I'm a Terrence McKenna fan, huge fan, but his brother.
On that podcast, Joe Rogan goes, what's with this whole mushroom thing? And he goes, I don't want to talk about this anymore. And he goes, why? And he goes, I could have, like, danger on my life if I expose too much about these mushrooms. Because, dude, I'm seeing all these things pop up. They're saying that that new mushroom coffee is basically taking vitamins and a better coffee without the come down. All these vitamins they're starting to base around like specific mushrooms and stuff.
I don't think that's what that guy was talking about.
No, I'm just saying.
But I tell you what, like if someone found a way to like produce mushrooms in enough abundance to compete with, say, coffee. The coffee cartels, that'd be a dangerous thing to get into.
I'm seeing ads for them, these mushroom coffees and stuff.
Yeah, I want to get one, but a lot of them are really expensive.
Yeah.
Well, I can't even imagine. I would taste it, but yeah. I'm a pot and a half a day guy, so.
It is hard. It would be hard to get into mushrooms now, but it is a shame because it is a nice thing to, especially like just having that as another thing to add on there. Like we went to the hibachi grill, and just the way they fucking make their.
It's a healthy thing to add on to stuff, and that's what I'm missing in my diet.
And the texture, it adds a different texture in the vegetable medley.
Yeah, which is a texture you like, I don't like, but.
Well, have
That's
you ever actually tried a cooked mushroom?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What about, would you do a cream of mushroom?
Yeah, but that's like saying I like tomatoes because I like fucking pasta with red sauce.
You like tomato soup?
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna not let
I haven't
you back.
had tomato soup in a minute. But
grilled cheese tomato soup. We'll do that one night. We'll do that next Sunday maybe.
Any day. We still haven't done chili yet, and it's getting hot.
Too
now.
hot for chili.
I fucking love chili.
But you like just the canned chili.
I don't prefer it, but I'm not gonna cook a big pot of chili for me.
That's the thing. You have to cook a lot of. It's so hard to cook. Like,
Well, just remember, I don't like things going bad. So you guys ever overcook? Give it. I will make sure it does not get thrown out. I'll eat fucking chili for 6 days in a row, and be like, "Damn, I wish I had more of that chili." Like when I have a dozen eggs and there's 10 left, and I'm like, it's borderline. Like I should probably eat these. I'll eat an fucking 5 days in a row, and I don't care. Real quick, how are we on time?
Like 10 more minutes.
Okay. Well, this is like maybe I'll save it for another podcast.
I got something real quick.
All right, go ahead. I'll
talk.
save it.
Yeah, which is and end on a little laughing at me. I got tickets for Shane Gillis coming to town.
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk about me getting the end seats? I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
That I'm at a point in my life now where I won't go to something unless I can get an end seat in these concert halls. These fucking
Well, that
seats,
shouldn't be a fucking permanent thing, but this is another
these
subject.
seats are getting. I know I'm getting bigger, but I swear to God, I look at Rachel and she's uncomfortable in these seats.
Yeah, well, they're not made to be spacious for sure. What's the venue?
It's at like something you would see an opera in. I was telling you, the seats are like straight up and down.
Mm-hmm.
But anywhere I go, the only place that has a comfortable seat nowadays is a movie theater.
I haven't been to a movie theater in so long.
Some of them are getting fucking nice,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Electric leg lifts, lean back. Some of them are getting couches in there and shit. Some of them have bars in there now.
There's probably a lot of banging going on.
That's still maybe, but that'd be hard. It's still pretty with the way movies are so bright and big. Like you can see a lot.
Yeah,
going on
I'm
there.
thinking more like a United Artists from like 12 years ago.
There is, and I don't know if it's not there anymore, but there was a movie theater place around here that, like, in middle of the days, it was like $3. You could see brand new movies.
The matinee.
Yeah, it was just such a shit place. Every seat, you couldn't hear the movie because every seat, they didn't WD-40 anything.
Right.
But, you get cheap popcorn there. You know what else I've seen?
The world needs places like that.
The markup on movie theater popcorn averages 1,275% markup.
Yeah, because the basic product is little tiny fucking kernels.
Well, and that's including the machines and the butter and expenses. So for every $1 you spend on pop,
that math doesn't work.
no,
I know what you're saying. That's a lot of percent.
So it costs them 12 cents, and they charge you, or cost them 1.2 pennies, and it cost you $1 to buy it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But everybody knows they're going to a movie theater.
Of course. And you can't. I mean, I think they let you. You sneak some. You can't sneak popcorn, and that popcorn's good.
Yeah, I would be like, if someone brought their own popcorn, I'd be like, bro, I get bringing your own candy, but
And it's so salty that you're like, I need a drink.
a big Dr. Pepper. That's my go-to.
You get the I always get the, and then halfway through, I'm fucking moving
Having a
around. I gotta
pee.
piss,
Or-
and I'm trying to think movie math. I'm like, all right, the lull's probably happening now. Sprint to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's why any movie that's over 2 hours, like at a theater, it's like, that's too long.
Yeah. But that
Thanks for the invite to the comedy show. Yeah.
it was a present from Rachel's mom. Okay, I couldn't be like, can you also buy Steven one too?
You tell her.
You got invited to a good dinner, and to a Mexican restaurant.
I had a big appointment.
Do you want to talk real quick? Do you want to talk
Nah,
about it?
that's a long conversation.
Okay. You tell me. Yeah, maybe we'll save that. But I actually want to know because you said there was good news and bad news.
Yeah, I need some bone grafts.
fuck does that mean?
I need more bone in my upper jaw.
Well, regardless, like I said, I'm going to go. You're my brother, and I'm going to go with you because it's a big life decision.
Yeah.
I'm happy for it. It's one of those things like, a year from now, we're going to be really happy, but there's going to be some tough.
It's exciting.
I'll tell you what, I don't know where the bones come from. You're probably not going to want any of mine.
Yeah, I don't even know. I haven't even asked. I haven't gotten the details yet.
Actually, you know what? I have some bone chips in my ankles. Maybe we'll ask if they can use those.
Yeah, they didn't even. It's not like this is like some experimental. It's not that.
They got
like
this to a
they have it down to a
science.
science, but and we could talk about it on another episode.
Yeah.
But fuck. I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Patreon.com. Check out the smoke breaks. They're fun. We're gonna start putting more just goofy stuff on there. We're gonna put our vacation up on there. We finally have merch coming out. This is the You Be Aight.
It's a nice shirt.
It's nice. They fit well for the big men out there. I love the fit of it.
It's not
decent
it's
material.
not a cheapo piece of shit T-shirt.
Yeah.
Either.
And we tried to keep it as reasonable as we possible could. We have a black AML. We also have some stickers, so that way if you just want to put something on yourself.
And this is a nice blue. I thought it was like just green, like Eagles green.
It's got a nice, and it's neutral enough where you can wear this with any color pants,
You can wear it
khakis,
to a
jeans.
wedding. You can wear it to church.
Wear it to a wedding. Hand out some business cards for us. But this has been You Be Aight podcast because
You're gonna be all right.
you will be all right. Steven's gonna have to get bone grafts. He'll be all right. I am Gene Labordi. My co-host and brother is Steven Labordi. And like I always say, doing all the hard work, doing all the editings, making all the merch, pissing me off. I mean, being my wife.
My wife
is Rachel Labordi.
This is You Be Aight.
You Be Aight.